Choosing the wrong Kubernetes certification could cost you months of preparation. So, which path actually fits your career? Welcome to Cert Empire, where we make certification decisions and exam preparation easier to understand.
Let's dive right into this explainer and use it as a career decision guide to map out the exact certification matrix for your specific role. Today, we're looking at 4 key areas: the certifications themselves, the domains and comparisons, which path fits your role, and finally, the hands-on exam reality.
Okay, part 1, the certifications. Let's clearly define what the CKA, CKAD, and CKS actually validate out there in the real world.
Now, unlike your typical multiple-choice vendor exams, these are totally cloud-neutral, performance-based beasts that prove exactly what you can do. First up is the CKA, or Certified Kubernetes Administrator. So the absolute crucial point about the CKA is that it proves you can build, maintain, and most importantly, troubleshoot a broken Kubernetes environment. You're looking at configuring access controls like RBAC, maintaining the cluster's brain, etc., and dealing with node failures. It's the broadest of the credentials, and critically, it is a hard prerequisite if you ever want to move on to the CKS.
Next, we have the CKAD, the Certified Kubernetes Application Developer. If your daily work is exclusively application development on clusters that are already running, rather than managing the underlying nodes yourself, well, CKAD is your target. It's all about taking your code, putting it in a container, and making sure it runs reliably, using config maps for configuration, secrets for sensitive data, and proper deployment strategies. You aren't building the cluster here, you're utilizing it. Finally, there's the CKS, the Certified Kubernetes Security Specialist. CKS is the advanced specialization that requires an active CKA credential. Why? Well, because you literally can't secure a cluster if you don't fundamentally understand how it's administered, right? Here, you're going to tackle container security threats using specific tools like Falco for runtime monitoring, OPA Gatekeeper for policy control, and Trivy for vulnerability scanning.
Moving right along to Section 2, Domains and Comparisons. Let's look at how differently these exams are actually weighted.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. For the CKA, a massive 30% of the exam is just troubleshooting, meaning you must diagnose and fix broken clusters, not just deploy to perfectly working ones. You'll be handed an environment where a node is down or the control plane is totally unresponsive and the clock is ticking. Another 25% is cluster architecture, installation, and configuration, which really further emphasizes that this is, at its core, an infrastructure operator's exam.
Conversely, the CKAD completely shifts gears. You won't find a troubleshooting domain here at all. Its heaviest domain, at 25%, is application environment, configuration, and security, completely from the developer's perspective. It also heavily weights application design, build, and deployment. It is laser-focused on getting software shipped securely and reliably.
And this brilliantly illustrates the mindset shift between the 2 primary entry points. Think of the CKA as the infrastructure operator keeping the lights on. Their core question is, how do I fix this broken cluster? Meanwhile, the CKAD is the developer getting the software shipped. Their core question is, how do I deploy my app reliably? But, despite the different perspectives, all 3 share a very similar and rigorous format. Across the board, you're looking at a $445 investment, a strict 2-hour time limit, and a performance-based live cluster exam. The passing scores are nearly identical too, hovering right around 66 to 67%. And again, notice that hard prerequisite on the right. You absolutely must have an active CKA before you can even register for the CKS. So, what does this all mean for your career? Let's look at the community estimates for salary impact. Because these performance-based exams are genuinely difficult to fake, they carry real weight. The CKS commands a massive premium, often pushing toward the $180,000 to $200,000 range for principal or staff engineers. But actually, let me put a quick disclaimer here. Please treat these as market estimates depending heavily on your location, your specific company, and your prior experience. They are fantastic indicators of market demand for sure, but they aren't guaranteed paychecks. Okay, Section 3. Which path fits your role? Let's get to the most important part of this explainer and give you a direct recommendation. Here is your decision matrix. If you're a DevOps, site reliability, or platform engineer, take the CKA first. It aligns perfectly with your work. If you're a back-end or full-stack dev working on existing infrastructure, go for the CKAD. If you're in security, get your CKA first, then immediately target the CKS.
And hey, if you are totally unsure between CKA and CKAD, we highly recommend the CKA. It covers more ground, it's the prerequisite for the security track, and it honestly appears in far more job postings. It's just the best, broadest starting point.
But what if you aren't any of those things yet? If you are brand new to all of this, please don't rush into a $445 live exam where a blank terminal is just staring back at you. Start with the KCNA, the Kubernetes and Cloud Native Associate. It's a multiple-choice exam designed specifically to build your foundational knowledge first, completely without the pressure of a live cluster.
Which brings us to our final section, number 4, hands-on exam reality and your preparation strategy.
Let's look at what actually happens when you hit start on exam day. Look at this quote from our sources. Passing requires genuine Kubernetes fluency, not theoretical knowledge. I really want to emphasize this. You cannot fake your way through these tests with multiple-choice guesses or a good memory of video lectures. You need real, raw terminal speed and the ability to navigate official, permitted documentation under intense time pressure.
Terminal speed is quite literally everything. You have about 6 to 8 minutes per task. So, setting up these kubectl aliases in the very first minute of your exam is an absolutely crucial step to save time. Typing K instead of kubectl, and using the dry run flag to generate YAML manifests on the fly. That's going to save you precious minutes that could literally be the difference between passing and failing.
This is exactly where a structured preparation strategy becomes critical. Before you risk that full $445 exam fee, you need to know where you stand. So utilize Cert Empire's practice resources. By testing yourself against structured, scenario-based questions in a real Kubernetes environment, you can quickly identify your knowledge gaps long before exam day.
So how long is this going to take? Well, depending on your current daily hands-on experience, here is a realistic estimated timeline you should dedicate to structured practice. If you use Kubernetes every single day, you might just need 4 to 6 weeks to learn the specific exam format. If you have some exposure, give yourself 8 to 12 weeks. And if you are brand new, take the KCNA first, then give yourself a solid 12 to 16 weeks of dedicated, hands-on terminal practice.
So here is our final question for you. Which Kubernetes certification are you planning to take first? CKA, CKAD, or CKS? Drop your choice in the comments below, let us know why. Subscribe to Cert Empire, enable notifications, and click one of the explainers on screen to choose your path. The cloud-native landscape is evolving every single day, so will you be the one building the infrastructure or the one securing it? Start preparing today.